Good morning, viewers, and welcome to my channel. Alex Does, the least educational bushcraft channel on all of YouTube. Yeah, I was just sitting there this morning taking in the sights and the sounds and contemplating my favourite times of coming out and camping, and I would say there's two times that I really enjoy. The first would be after dinner, maybe with a bevy, just sitting and relaxing and listening to the sounds and taking in the smells and the environment and just really enjoying being out in the bush, just that peace and quiet and just listening to the birds. My second most favourite time of the morning would probably be once I've had me coffee, or I'm having my coffee, just sitting down by the fire, listening to the birds and taking in the sights and sounds and smells and the environments, just doing nothing but just absorbing the environment. So I think what you can take from that is my favourite thing to do is nothing. Which doesn't really bode well for the construction that I'm trying to get done behind me. Anyway, so today's another day. My job for today, obviously I just need to get my tent packed up. Other than that, I'm pretty much already good to go. And I want to get another piece of wood on the structure. And I think what I'm going to do, is another side piece. Alright, so let me take you in a bit closer and I'll explain my thought process at the moment. Okay, so this is the side wall here. Despite the fact that the way I've got things set up at the moment, this has always been my entry and exit point. But this is a side wall, obviously, because the door's at the front. What I want is a couple of windows here. So I want a window framed in here and then another window framed in here. The common element in that is going to be obviously then a rail that runs around about halfway all the way along, same as the one on the bottom and the same as the one on the top. So that's my next thing that I want to do. Yeah. So for a lot of reasons, obviously I want to let some light in as much as possible. Even when it is done, it's going to be quite dark in there, but I want to try and let as much light as I can in as possible with the camera work and the filming. That's going to be, I don't know how, we'll figure that out once we get to that point. And obviously let breeze through, let smoke out, all that sort of stuff. I want to see the view outside. I don't want to leave living inside a box to come here and live inside a box. Which is kind of what I'm creating, but anyway, I digress. So anyway, I want a window here about this size, one on the other side here about that side, and I want to mirror that on the other side of the structure. So I'm going to start on the other side of the structure first, rather than put one here first, because as I said, this is the way I go in and out. That's going to stop as soon as I put the base of the window frame here, and I'll have to start using the front door more often. So I'm going to do the one on the other side. The other thing with doing the one on the other side is less visible, so it'll give me a chance to kind of trial and error exactly how I'm going to fit it, although I'm just going to do it exactly the same as I've done with the top and bottom rails here. So my mission for today is to do that. The other advantage of putting in windows is it takes up a big amount of space in the wall, then that I don't have to do the wattle and daub mudding and stuff. So it's a little less work there, and refer back to my earlier comment, it's my preferred thing to do is nothing. I am thinking though that I'll probably then at some point make, God, my mind's just racing now with all ridiculous amounts of work in the future, but I'm thinking I'll do some sort of shutter or blind or a hinged thing that comes down and closes the window over, because obviously during winter I want to keep some of that heat in. And maybe try and keep some of the animals out. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling and just get on with some work, huh? Welcome back. These things are everywhere at the moment. Little cutie. Okay, so I've cleared all my crap away. So yeah, as I was saying before, we want to run a pole probably about, I don't know, halfway makes sense along there. I am going to use a bit of wood that I've already got, I'm pretty sure, so I need a bit that's about 3.2 meters long, so I will, let's us go and cut that. That doesn't look too bad. Yeah, they're relatively happy with that. It'll do. Now that this pole's prepped with the checkouts, obviously I've got to do corresponding checkouts on the upright post, but in an ideal world, obviously, if this was straight, I could just go and run a string line as I have with some of the others and just do my checkouts and know that everything would be fine. Because this is, I think the technical term is higgledy-piggledy, what I'm going to have to do, I think, is offer this up to the poles, maybe tie it in place so that I can mark where I've got to cut out so that it fits right. Assuming that I've put these cutouts in the right place, of course. Fingers crossed. Alright, so let's try that. There we go, what do you reckon? Gotta love it when a plan comes together. It seems like this pole's also bent out a bit that way. Either that or I've cut too much out of here. So what I might do is, I don't know, figure it out as I go. But what I'm going to do now is just mark tops and bottoms on each of the poles. Obviously I haven't measured the height actually. What do you reckon about the height? It's probably about right. It looks kind of natural. I kind of like the organic flow of it. Just because we're bushcrafting doesn't mean we can't introduce a bit of artistic license. I kind of like it. I like it. It's a rare privilege, because I am so super critical of everything I do. It's a rare privilege when I do something and instantly go, yeah, I actually like that. I like that. I'm going to do a bit of a walk around and make sure I'm happy with the position, and then I'll mark it and pull it down, and we'll cut some pieces out. It's pretty rough, but such is the theme of this build. So I'm just going to offer that up again and see how we go. Alright, I'm relatively happy with that. This one just needed a bit of a tickle to sit in. They're about as good as the rest of the joints. This one here is still a good inch off making contact. So as I did with the one down below, what I'll do is I'll put a pin in either end. Then I can reconfigure the rope to put some tension on this and pull it in, and then I can pin it so it's held under tension. So let's get that done. Time to drill some holes. I will say one downside of the hand augers is they're really designed, as far as I can tell, to go all the way through and out the other side. When you're doing blind holes like this, they do tend to leave a lot inside. It's not like a twist drill right from the bottom would bring everything out. Obviously they do bring a lot out, but they do leave a lot of sawdust in the hole. Alright, that's the two ends done, self-supporting there with the dowels inserted. Just leaving this middle one, but as you can see, look, it's not fixed yet. If I bring you up and have a look, you can see there's quite the gap. I can fit a finger in there. So we need to put some tension on it and see if we can bring this in that way. Much as we did with the one down there. And the one over there. Alright, I managed to get it buttoned right up. It's close enough for me. I ended up doing like a trucker's knot and pulling it in as tight as I could, and there was still a bit of a gap, so then I went back to the old system. I made a longer stake and twisted it. There's a lot of tension on that though. I could play a song. However, our rope is reaching the end of its days. I think I might have actually cut that this morning, but yeah, I can't put much more tension on that or it will go twang. So anyway, I need to get my hole, at least one hole in there and a stud in there before the rope fails, and we're starting to get spits of rain. Give us a thumbs up. So I did get another stud in here and another dowel, and I made sure it came actually really quite deep, so that's really nice and secure now, and I'm confident that that's not going to go anywhere. Bit of the wave design, which of course was by design. And window frames, I'm assuming window frames are probably going to come, you know, I want fairly large windows, you know, probably 1 metre wide or something like that. I suppose I could just leave that section completely open if I really want to. Who knows? The whole design process is fairly fluid and dependent on materials and my mood and how motivated I am at the time. But anyway, that brings today's trip and today's video to an end. The weather is on and off spitting with rain, so it's not going to be too long before I really think it starts pouring down. It's pretty overcast out there, so might as well make hay while the sun doesn't shine and get the hell out of here. So I've had a really good trip. I'm happy with the progress I made again this trip. On last week's video, that was yesterday, you will have seen me put the ones down here either side of the fireplace, which now completes the ring except for the gap at the door and the gap at the fireplace. So next week I'll probably do the corresponding one of these on the other side. And then we can start thinking about how I'm going to frame in the windows. And I'm already starting to think about and start sort of looking for materials to do with the wattle and daub, or the wattle part of the wattle and daub, because I'm thinking at this stage, I'll weave all the sticks in around the whole lot before I then start doing the mud. I don't want to do a bit of stick and a bit of mud and a bit of stick and a bit of mud. But yeah, so it's funny actually, and I've mentioned this, I don't know if I mentioned it on camera, but I've certainly talked about it. One of the things that you do when you're out and about and come to the same place, and you know, I'm planning this build a number of steps ahead in my mind, is you do form like a mental map of the resources in the area. So I have seen on a couple of trips suitable material, I think, to at least start the weaving. I'm just hoping there's enough of it. We'll see how we go. So anyway, so that'll be next week. Alright, I don't even know if you can see me. It's probably terrible with all that backlight. Let's go out the front door, shall we? I'm going to do something about this too, I think, next time. Because obviously, once we start using that front door more, because once I put this side piece on, it'll be too much of a pain to use that. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is, I don't know, I'll let you know, and I'll do a big reveal of what I'm going to do when I actually do it, because right now I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do it. Anyway, this brings this trip to an end. I really hope you enjoyed the content on this video. I hope you like the progress and what I'm doing on the build. I've said it many times, I'm no expert. I'm pulling this out of my ass. What am I talking about? I'm just making this up as I go. I've obviously never done anything like this before. Look, if you've got an opinion or something to say or something to share, it's a constructive criticism. If you like what I'm doing, let me know. If you don't like what I'm doing and you think I could be doing it better a different way, please let me know. Put it down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you've got to say. I certainly appreciate you coming along and watching the videos. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and the bell for notification. Smash the like, the thumbs up button if you really like what you see. And you will see me again, as always, next Saturday, 8 AM, Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time. Oh, Daylight Saving might be over by then. If it is over, then Australian Eastern Standard Time. 8 o'clock next Saturday, if you're in Australia, on the Eastern Seaboard. Unless you're in Queensland, and it's Daylight Saving. Unless Daylight Saving is finished and you are in Queensland at the same time as New South Wales. Oh, Australia. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye. I don't know if you can hear, but it's raining. It hasn't stopped raining really since I started cutting the wood up. So, like I said, I've just finished that now. I'm just taking a break, having a drink. It's getting on in the afternoon, so I really think it's all I'm going to end up doing. Like I said earlier, where I mentioned like I might be getting a little bit sick, and I don't want to be spending too much time out in the rain. So I hope you'll forgive me that indulgence.